Earlier, we talked about how to use the scanner to read data from a text file. We also can use the scanner to read data from the console. And before, use the system.out.print to print out the information to the console. So now what you miss is how should you write data into a text file. So here we will show you the other object we call the PrintWriter. So the PrintWriter is specific when you want to write the data into a file. So the PrintWriter is under java.io package. So when you create a PrintWriter object, you just have the PrintWriter object. So then you're using the PrintWriter to specify the file name, or you specify a file object. So that you create an output string to write to the file. So here we will see what is the PrintWriter UML diagram. So your PrintWriter UML diagram like this. So you have, like earlier we said, your constructor, you can specify a file object, or you can give the string as a file name. So here you will see all the methods from the PrintWriter. You can print to specify a string, char, int, long, or double to write to the file. And also they have the print ln, that means you have the information, then at the end you add a new line. And you also have the printf, that means you can have a string display in a format. So don't you think all those member methods very similar to our system.out.print and the system.out.println and the system.out.printf, the format method? Correct. So when you create a PrintWriter, they kind of like you just create a system.out object. Just system.out is a standard Java object for the console output. You don't need to include any library. But the PrintWriter object actually is from the Java io.PrintWriter. So you need to specify a file name. So then you create the PrintWriter object. So you can write to any text file. So we just see the example. Earlier we have the scanner to read from the score.txt file. But have you ever think about the scores.txt file beginning, how we create that? Right, so that's why we create the scanner, the PrintWriter. So this PrintWriter object actually we're using the file object. So we create the new Java IO file. The file name is scores.txt. So actually when you create a file object, they will recreate that file object. So that's why you specify the file name. You need to check if this file already exists. So then actually you need to delete that first. Otherwise they won't append to the end. So now here, after we find out this file object actually is not exist yet, so now we can create the object for that. So you can see here, we can just print a string for the full name. So then the new line with the score. So that's how we will write to the file. So after you're done, don't forget you need to close that file. So that's the same reason, because you try to access a text file. If you don't close that, the file will keep open. The operating system cannot release the lock. So then the file cannot be closed. So that's the write data to the file.